Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another episode of 10-minute trades. This one is a long time coming. I promised one of our best viewers that I would do this, but just got so busy with other things on YouTube. But let's get right into it. So this is on ticker symbol FSLR, which is First Solar Incorporated. And this is an interesting stock because this stock kind of got a nice little boost from the VP debates because they were big on green energy and green tech. And as we can see, this stock has been around for quite some time. It has been a little bit choppy, right? If I zoom out here, look over the past couple of years, it has a roller coaster pattern, right? It's up and down and up and down and up and down. Recently, the biggest down was of course because of the illness earlier this year. You can see it dropped from about a high of around $60 all the way to a low of around basically half price, just under $30. And then we've had this huge run up ever since. I mean, it's been a little bit choppy, but overall the trend has been up and to the right. And then again, of course, in the month of September, like the overall market, we had a little bit of a sell-off as well. But again, ever since a recent low on September 24th, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 green days in a row, basically 2 straight weeks of trading that were nothing but green. Yes, we've had 3 scattered red days recently, but again, yesterday was red, but today, intraday, and I'm making this video a little bit earlier than usual. We're in power hour right now, but you can see we're in line for a green day on FSLR on October 15th. So we'll have to see what happens, but let's get right into the technical analysis. So longtime viewers know the first thing I like to do is look at the Fibonacci retracements. And so I drew it from the most recent lows, again on September 24th, to the most recent highs, which is pretty much an all-time high if I zoom out here. I mean, yes, we got awfully close back in April of 2018, but again, we have a recent high at about $85, just shy of $86. So I drew these fib levels here. This is actually a pretty hard TA to do because there's not a lot of price data up in this level, up in these price ranges. So let's just keep working here. The next thing I did was obviously identify an area of trend. If I zoom out here, like I said, it's pretty much up and to the right, which is what you want to see. And I drew it again from the most recent lows back in peak illness levels on mid-March, all the way up until about early September before we had this pretty decent sell-off. But as you can see, it's been trading pretty closely along this trend line here, whether above it or below it. And again, we are now approaching, or we tried to break above that trend line back on yesterday, October 14th, just couldn't do it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens the next couple of trading days to see if it's going to bounce off this trend line or break above it and trade above it like it did back in August and for a little while back in April as well. But the other thing is, one thing I noticed was there's more of a parallel channel pattern here. So I drew a parallel channel like this. So you can see from basically mid-May all the way up to early September, we've been trading kind of up and down in this channel, which is again up and to the right, which is like what I like to see. We did break above it for a few days at the end of August and early September, but then we promptly came back in. Similarly, for the past few weeks of trading, we were well below this parallel channel, below this orange line and the pink line, which are the 21 and the 50-day moving averages. But you can see recently, the past week of trading, we are back in this area of trend. So I do think this bottom of this parallel channel may act as a support, which today is going to be roughly at around $80, tomorrow about 80, 81, 82 as we go forward. So I am, looks like short to midterm bullish right now on FSLR because all the data, yes, we've had a little bit of pullback here and there, but it's always going up and up and up for the past few months now, for basically the past 6 months or so. So let's get right into it and look at some areas of support and resistance. So the first area that I identified was right here at about $76, $77. And just as a reminder, these are not exact numbers. These are more areas. So it's not exactly $76.64. It's more somewhere in this vicinity. And I drew that because you can see we had some candles and wicks here that topped out initially as resistance back in mid to late August, then as support towards the end of August and the beginning of September. We did trade above it for quite some time until October 8th and 9th, where you can see intraday we had wicks that used it as support. So this does look like a pretty strong area of support right now. Next, I think for an area of support right now, maybe resistance, we'll have to see what the next few trading days show. but at around $82, you can see there was this candle here on October 12th. These wicks got awfully close earlier in October. This wick topped out on August 28th. So again, this is hard because there's not a lot of price action here historically, but it does look like this is going to act as an area of support or resistance depending on where we end the day today and where we open up tomorrow. But let's just keep working here. Rapid fire, we're going to do two at a time. I think there's two areas of support here at about $73 and $70. And again, you can see it was acting as support back in early September and then also acted as resistance during that same time period in early September. But right now, since we're obviously trading above it, it's going to act as support. Two more at a time right here and right here. So again, you can see back in mid to late September, this was acting as support. We failed to have a candle that really stuck below $61. And then again here at around $63, $64, acted as support on September 28th and September 17th. And then if we go back, it looks like it was a little bit of a resistance intraday on these candles here, or these wicks, I should say, on July 20th and July 23rd. Two more lines that I've identified further down are going to be right here at about $58 and $53. Again, this is a little bit tough because not a lot of price data here, but you can see back in June, it was a little bit of resistance here in early June and also again in early July. Same thing at about $58 was an area of resistance for about a week of trading in early July. So that's basically my analysis on First Solar. The real question you guys want to know is, well, where are we going to go from here? I think we are going to be due for a little bit of a pullback, unfortunately. And I say that because if I zoom out, you can see this graph has been trading pretty closely to this orange line, which is the 21-day moving average. Right now, we are fairly well above both the 21 and the 50-day moving averages. Yes, we are in this parallel channel again, but we'll have to see how well this holds up. So what I'm going to be looking for is if FSLR can stay basically above $80. Right now, these fib levels that I've drawn don't really line up well, in my opinion, to these areas of support and resistance. So I'm going to take them off for now, and we'll see in the future how well they hold up. But I think we're going to need to see if FSLR is going to keep trading in this parallel channel, which again, the bottom of it is around $80, $81 right now. Now, if it does, then I think that's a very short-term bullish statement, and I think we will continue to have FSLR move up and up and up into the mid to high 80s, and then maybe even low 90s in the next few weeks. But we've had a pretty decent run-up. Like I said, we've had basically 2 straight weeks of trading that were green, and I think we are due for a little bit of a pullback to trade a little bit closer to these moving averages. Now, this is the intraday candle for today. If we can't close above 82.30, let's say, then we looks like are going to be trading between about $76 and $82. There might be another area of trend right around here. You can see there's a few candles here that topped out, and then these candles kind of bottom out here. So we might have another area of resistance at about $79. So I think, again, if we break below 80, really 79 is the next area of support for me. But I think if we break through 79, then 76 is going to be the next stop. And then what's really scary is if 76 breaks, I think 73 or the low 70s, there's really not much price data here. You can see, even if looking back, yes, there was a lot of price action back in August, but really the only other historical price data is from the intraday trading on September 3rd, and then really just intraday dating on October 6th and October 7th. So I don't think there's much to hold it back if we break into the high 70s. That is going to prevent it from going into the low 70s. So we'll have to see. I mean, if you were looking to go long on this stock, I think you would be prudent. Again, not financial advice, but if it was me, I would want to hold off and sort of try and buy a dip, because I think we've had such a big run up right now that you'd almost be buying at a peak. If you're looking to sell options, for example, if you wanted to open up a cash good put, if this was me, I would ideally want to get somewhere in the low 70s, because I want 2 areas of support that it would have to break through to get to that point, and that would be even closer to the 21 and 50-day moving averages, which will also act as support. So I would look into getting into somewhere in the low 70s. If you have shares and you want to sell covered calls, I think right now is a great time to sell covered calls, because if we do have a pullback, then you're just going to collect more profit quicker. But this was actually a pretty difficult technical analysis to do. So while we're at it, let's just take a look at the option flow data on Fslr for today. And you can see there's only one sweep that came through, and that was actually a call for this Friday, so basically expiring tomorrow, for the $80 strike. And that was a $33,000 position. So if we go back to the TradingView chart, we can see that $80 is actually an in the money call. So that might be a hedge, because right now we're currently trading at $82. So I wouldn't put too much weight in that. As you can see, there was not a lot of option flow data on Fslr, so it's probably not the most popular stock to trade option. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them below. Let me know. I have personally never traded Fslr, either options or shares, but if you have, let me know how it's gone for you. If you agree or disagree with my TA, let me know. And leave me a comment below as far as what ticker you want me to look at next. And as always, happy trading.